What's going on, guys? What is going on? I gave you guys the 2 claps this year. The two claps this afternoon. That's all you get, man. That's all you get. For those of you that's watching this video, you know for a long time, if you're long time viewers, I have been screaming from the top of my lungs that Microsoft needs to focus more on their events and stop giving their gems to other people, such as, Jeff Keighley, some form of, the Video Game Awards, to his Summer Game Fest. There's a lot of little events like Gamescom and stuff that goes throughout the year, even to a point E3, because, at that time it was still someone else's stage. They were just part of it. I've always felt like you can dominate the news sphere without being there without other people being there. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree. Put in the comment section below. Do you feel like Microsoft had to do these big events? Up until now, for years, we've only really had one huge event from Microsoft a year. Sometimes they would show something at the Video Game Awards, but as far as that's all. If it wasn't June, there's no more events. Now, clearly they announced stuff, but it wasn't in that formal way, that huge competing event that all of us love. And I think that was one of the biggest problems with Microsoft. They wasn't building their own platform. Sure, they had years ago inside Xbox. And I think to a degree that was where all of this started, but I don't think that ever really hit. The good thing about the Xbox Partner Showcase is there was no personalities. They even had the QR code in every trailer at the end of it that you could scan. I don't know if it was in every trailer, but there's a few trailers where there was a QR code you could scan and it would take you to maybe an interview or, a more in-depth breakdown of the game itself. And I think that is really important. And the reason I'm saying that's important is because we needed more stuff like that. Microsoft was really giving all their best cards to other people. I remember back in the day when the Xbox Series X was first announced, we were waiting for for that next game, the next announcement. We got to the point where who's going to drop their stuff first, PlayStation or Xbox? And for the longest time, we were waiting for that. And I think that is one of the single things that makes more sense, because it was a console announcement, and I think a lot of people wasn't expecting it. But there's a lot of scenarios where they didn't necessarily have to do it. They had, I think that was the last XO they did. I can't remember if it was an XO, but even if it wasn't an XO, a few months before that, Video Game Awards, they had their own show. Probably would have been better to show it on Jeff Keighley's Video Game Awards because it's got more eyes on it, but you can make an argument that keep that energy, keep that hype, and show it at the end of your own conference, and maybe it would have did some stuff. But anyway, the Xbox Partner Preview. We finally got something like this where it's not necessarily on their first party. It's more on who they're working with, third-party games and indie games coming to the platform. It's more in that kind of hemisphere. Now, first off, let's talk about the pacing and format of the show, because the pacing and format is different than the show itself. The pacing and format can be replicated and used in every Xbox Partner program or any Xbox show in general. Kind of like you see with State of Play. It's the same format and the same pacing, just different games in Xbox Direct. Well, Nintendo Direct. So that was fantastic. Right here, Xbox, this is the format to use. It was quick, showed you what you wanted, and before you got it stayed its long too much, and you're like, man, what's going on here? I think you could argue maybe Allan Wake did it, but that was the game they ended with. I'm okay with the games they do it with if it's ending. I think it was a good move. Good move. There was a lot of things out here. I'm going to name them. We had the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth features on Animal Crossing. Now, I do feel like they could have done that a little bit better. The reason I'm saying that is this kind of made it seem like that was the game. Like, look at it coming from someone that wasn't familiar with this franchise. They might think that's the actual game. So you know, maybe could have did both, show the mini game and show the actual game, because we still, you know, don't have a whole lot of gameplay in terms of the actual game itself. You know, we got the Dungeons game that that they actually promoted on their own social media. That looked good. You know, Metal Gear Solid Delta really surprised me on here. And, you know, I like that. I like them throwing in that random what the hell moment and, you know, really, you know, get the talks going. It looked really good. I think that might be the first time I really tried Metal Gear Solid. They had the Ark Survival Ascended look. It's pretty much the first one remade, and it looks drastically better. I have played a lot of Ark Survival, not as much as a lot of people, because people will tell you that the game's kind of like Destiny. You're going to put a lot of time into it. But I have put a good amount of time into that game. And then we have the new Allan Wake trailer. Allan Wake definitely seems like an interesting game to me. It's just not really vibing with me. Now, as far as the content in this show, it didn't really captivate me as much as, you know, it probably did the next person, because they had more there to show. I like the formatting and I like the pacing of the show. You know, not necessarily a lot in the show for me, but I could see why they need stuff like this. I think them doing this is bigger than the actual show itself. We're going to finally get more of these type of, you know, live streams, or, you know, pre-recorded premiering videos on YouTube, where it's just giving us a good insight on what the future of Xbox is and what games should you expect to play that. I like this format because they can use it for Game Pass. They could show you on that. And, you know, if you look at the show and the last show, I remember a time where it was all Xbox Game Pass. Every game was Xbox Game Pass, and they were very clear on that. I do feel like they're still focusing on Game Pass. That's still a prime focus, but I do feel like now they've backed up a little bit, and they're focusing on the whole brand as a whole. You know, you could argue that maybe 2 years ago, Allan Wake 2 wouldn't have been at one of these events for Xbox, because if it wasn't in Game Pass, they might not have let it be in that showcase. But now I'm glad to see that they're, you know, focusing on what's going to be on the platform, not necessarily should you subscribe to something on the platform. You know, Game Pass, in my opinion, should be a tool used to compete. It shouldn't be the focus of the company. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think in the comment section below? You know, I want them to focus on Game Pass, and I want them to generate money and put a lot of, you know, value into Game Pass, but I don't want it to be the focus of the whole company. I want the Xbox ecosystem to be the focus of the company, and Game Pass is one of those tools, one of those, you know, huge branches that they go to and rely on, you know, along with the Xbox, along with the PC version. I want the whole Xbox ecosystem really centered and focused. In conclusion, when it comes to this particular Xbox Partner Showcase, I think it was good. 8 out of 10. You know, as far as the way they did stuff. Now, I do think that, you know, maybe they could have put more stuff in here instead of what was here. So that's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. But I can't honestly say that, you know, the stuff like finals, that was really good look. You know, a lot of times people don't remember what a game comes on. They remember what it was promoted with. Keep in mind, Call of Duty's coming up. You know, Activision Blizzard King, Bethesda. Most likely, you know, they're going to make deals with people like Sega, where they're going to get a lot more of their games. You know, this is a prime example of how to show your consumers the value of your ecosystem. You can play their games on console. You can play their games on TV. You can play their games on PC. We got Game Pass on all those platforms. You know, the ecosystem was definitely front and center here, and I'm impressed. You know, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm very curious to your guys' opinion. What was this particular event to you rated? You know, I think I'm going to see a lot of 7, 8s, and 9s in the comment section below. Prove me wrong, though, man. Let's see what's going down there, man. Put in the comment section below what you guys think. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.